We've heard about, fewer cancer patients getting care and going for their care, getting concerned about COVID. But from your perspective, what are the biggest challenges that community practices are facing here?
Our new patient volumes are down anywhere from 40 to 60%, which tells me that cancer patients aren't being diagnosed. And if they're not being diagnosed, they're not being seen. And if not being seen, their cancer is getting worse. And so I think that's the biggest challenge.
Is this drop in cancer patients and the number of new patients, is this putting any kind of broader pressures on community practices overall? I know we've been tracking this trend towards consolidation for a long time now.
So there on the business, there certainly are revenue pressures. So we're pushing out our surveillance patients, and so our office visits across our company at OneOncology are down anywhere from 30 to 50%. Again, our new patients are down 40 to 60%. Those new cancer patients are associated with treatments, which are a big revenue stream that helps our practices stay afloat. And so I do think you'll see financial pressures increasing consolidation, which has been accelerating since 2004. And I think this will just push more consolidation, which it is what it is. Economies of scale matter. And if you don't have scale and you have a crisis like this that decreases your volumes, then you're going to have a harder time surviving going forward. So I think this will accelerate something that's already happening, which is markets across healthcare are consolidating.
And then as you look to manufacturers, the drug manufacturers, how do you think they can help you, or what could be different ways and they could partner with you to help you achieve some of these objectives that you're describing?
So I think the manufacturers, and they're doing this already, should support COA, which is our voice and helps us lobby government and other regulatory agencies and commercial agencies on our value proposition. I think contracting terms and payment terms and any financial help that you can help with struggling practices is important. We, as community oncologists, feel like we're manufacturers' best customer, and just ask that in most businesses you try to reward your best customer. So we're here.
And so related to that, are there certain types of services or offerings that manufacturers have in the times like this, or types of engagements that you're finding more valuable than others?
So again, mostly because the interaction with manufacturer representatives is pretty much that spigot's been cut off, which is unfortunate for our manufacturer partners, but we had to protect our patients. So in the short term, it's really more financial, of recognizing that our volumes are going to decrease. And so if we have a volume-based contract, we might need some relief. We're certainly getting paid less speedily from our payers. And so having payment terms that recognize that and give us some relief.
Thinking about trends that we've been tracking even pre-COVID, where one of them being around pathways. We heard from Dr. Deborah Pratt on Friday how in some nudging through the EMR was leading to an increase in adherence to the value pathways that they noticed across several thousands of cancer patients. Do you think we'll see more or a greater prevalence of pathways, and perhaps even more precise guidance coming from pathways on how to manage patients and when to use which therapies?
I don't think there's any doubt. You just can't keep up with everything. I think I heard Dr. Bill Frist say recently that the medical literature information doubles every 75 days. And so I think over half of the drugs in development and that are being brought to market are in the oncology space. So there's just no way to keep up with all that information. So I think we're going to have to rely on pathways going forward to do what's right for our patients.
Yeah, and do you think they will also become perhaps more prescriptive as opposed to leaving choice to the end prescriber to make the decision on what's the right therapy?
I think the right way is to be very prescriptive, but understand that 20% of the time, even being prescriptive probably doesn't make sense because of comorbidities and other things that are not included in the pathways. And so I think I've spent a lot of time thinking about pathways, and most people will agree that complying with a pathway, single choice pathway, 80 to 85% of the time is probably the right number. If you're complying 99% of the time, you're probably doing some things that are contrary to the best interest of your patient. As you have consolidation in a marketplace, you have to either be part of a big team, or you're going to become not a team, and someone's going to take you over. I think that the main aggregators in community oncology are trying to help independent physicians stay independent, but network together to be able to be an alternative to hospital-based systems like we talked about earlier today.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Patton.